Shalom. This week's Torah portion is Parashat Va'etchanan, the second Torah portion in Sefer Devarim, the book of Deuteronomy. This week, we are once again celebrating a special Sabbath. This Shabbat, the Shabbat following Tisha B'Av, is known as Shabbat Nachamu, the Sabbath of consolation. Like last week's Shabbat of vision, this week's Shabbat also takes its name from the words of the prophet Isaiah, found in the Haftarah, the prophetic reading for this Shabbat, this time from Isaiah chapter 40, the words, "Comfort, comfort my people, says your God." Although just days ago we observed Tisha B'Av with its focus on the destruction of the temple, our sages teach that on a deep spiritual level, the second half of this month of Menachem Av, which means the consoling Father, the second half of the month begins to turn around and it transitions into a time for rectification and healing. It's a time when we are presented with opportunities to repair the spiritual damage caused by the destruction of the Holy Temple and the subsequent exile. And it's a prelude to the beginning of the period of preparation for the High Holy Days of Tishrei. We experience this powerful transition within these days that follow Tisha B'Av. For this coming week, Wednesday, August 2nd, we'll be marking the day known as Tu B'Av, the 15th day of the month of Menachem Av. This is an ancient Israelite holiday rooted in biblical times and alluded to in Judges 21:19, where we read, "Behold, there is a yearly holiday unto Hashem at Shiloh, wherein the daughters of Shiloh go out to dance in the vineyards." According to sacred Torah tradition, on this day, a sublime heavenly illumination of unity and love begins to shine forth. Our sages relate that in the time of the Holy Temple, the days of Yom Kippur and Tu B'Av were the happiest days of the year. Even in our time, this day, the 15th of Av, is known as a day of joy and love, and it all emanates from the spiritual root, the revelation of Hashem's love. That's the theme of the day, which fits in so well with the confluence of the Sabbath of consolation, whose Haftarah speaks of Hashem's eternal love and compassion for his people, assuring them that despite their suffering, he will bring them comfort and redemption. And in a triple chord of divine synchronicity, our portion of Parashat Va'etchanan, with its emphasis on love and connection, is almost always read on this particular special Shabbat. There are so many important themes found in this portion that relate to repairing and maintaining our relationship with God and with one another, all connecting seamlessly with the concepts of Shabbat Nachamu and Tu B'Av. Here in this Parsha of Va'etchanan, we find a revisiting of the Ten Commandments, reminding us of the importance of our covenant with God and the Shema Yisrael, the Hear, O Israel, the foundational declaration of Hashem's unity, of faith, love, and devotion, and many other concepts. But open up your heart. Hashem's love is not limited to a specific time or place. It's eternal and boundless, sustaining us through difficult times as well as times of joy. In our portion, Moshe recalls the nation's collective experience from the exodus from Egypt that was accompanied by great miracles and wonders to the transcendental event of the giving of the Torah at Mount Sinai. Moshe's words reveal that these powerful and transformative events, the likes of which were never seen or heard or experienced by any other people, these events were actually all designed for one singular purpose only, that the nation of Israel should internalize the belief in the one God and none other. In our portion in chapter 4, verses 33 through 35, we read, "Has a people ever heard the voice of God speaking from the midst of the fire, as you have heard, and survived? Or has any God ever miraculously come to take for himself a nation from amidst a nation, with challenges, with signs, and with wonders, and with war, and with a strong hand, and with an outstretched arm, and with greatly awesome deeds, such as everything that Hashem your God did for you in Egypt before your eyes? You have been shown in order to know that Hashem, he is the God. There is none beside him." And then again in verse 39, "You shall know this day and take to your heart that Hashem, he is the God. In heaven above and on the earth below, there is none other." The pivotal words, the linchpin of this exhortation, are three small words that make up the phrase Ein Od Milvado, which translates as "there is nothing beside him," or "there is none other but him." The concept behind this teaching is the belief in the absolute oneness of God. This is the most fundamental principle of Torah, emphasizing that there is only one God, and there is nothing else that can compare to him or exist independently of him. So open up your heart in the deepest way. The Holy Baal Shem Tov emphasized that the idea of Ein Od Milvado, there's nothing else but him, as a way of understanding the omnipresence and unity of God, he taught that everything in existence, both the physical and spiritual realms, is ultimately a manifestation of God's all-encompassing divine presence. His teachings stress that God is not only the creator of the universe, but also continuously sustains and permeates every aspect of creation, and therefore there is nothing that exists independently of God. There's nothing separate from him. Everything in creation is interconnected and has a purpose in the grand design of the universe. Contemplating this interconnectedness fosters a sense of responsibility towards others and to the whole world at large. Recognizing the truth of Ein Od Milvado, that there's none beside him, has profound implications for our relationship with Hashem and the world around us. It teaches us that every experience, every encounter, every challenge that we face is an opportunity to connect with the divine. By acknowledging and by being aware that God is present in every aspect of our lives, we can develop a deeper sense of gratitude and awe and trust in his providence. We can infuse our daily activities with spirituality, and we can see the divine in all things. This awareness greatly impacts one's faith and trust. Believing in Ein Od Milvado guides us to place complete trust in God and to let go of fear and worry. It teaches that everything that happens in the world is guided by God's wisdom, even if we can't always understand the reasons behind events. The Baal Shem Tov also taught that Ein Od Milvado reminds us of the unity of all existence. Just as there's nothing besides God, there's also nothing separate from one another. We're all interconnected, and our actions have far-reaching consequences. This understanding encourages us to cultivate gratitude and to treat others with kindness and respect, fostering unity and compassion in our interaction with others by recognizing the divine spark within each and every person. We all face times of challenges and tests and difficulties when we might feel abandoned and alone. Focusing on this idea of Ein Od Milvado, remembering that the reality of God is the only true reality, can change everything. Examples: dealing with health problems can be emotionally and physically draining, leaving us feeling vulnerable and desperate. Ein Od Milvado means that God is the ultimate healer. We seek the best and most appropriate medical care, turning to Hashem and praying that our doctors should be good agents in his plan, and recognizing that even in these times, our troubles are indeed part of the divine plan, and there's a purpose and a lesson to be learned. When facing financial difficulties, it can be very easy to feel overwhelmed and anxious. Ein Od Milvado reminds us that God is the ultimate provider and sustainer. Trusting in his guidance, we can then take the practical and appropriate steps to address the situation in the very best way that we can, while maintaining faith that it's he who will provide for our needs. In dealing with relationship challenges, interpersonal conflicts and strained relationships can cause significant distress. Just as there's nothing separate from God, we are all interconnected and part of a greater whole. This understanding should inspire us to treat others properly, recognizing the divine spark within each individual. This aids in seeking reconciliation and forgiveness, trusting that Hashem can guide and heal relationships, since we're really all connected through him and we're really all part of the whole. Other great masters in the tradition of the Baal Shem Tov further expounded on these concepts. Just to mention a few of their ideas, the Baal Shem Tov's grandson, the holy Rabbi Nachman of Breslov, taught that meditating on the words Ein Od Milvado, internalizing the concept, can be a powerful tool for spiritual growth, which can help us to elevate our consciousness and connect to the infinite divine presence that permeates all of creation. He taught that during prayer and meditation, he said, reflect on the fact that you are now standing before the Almighty, who is the source of all existence. Allow this awareness to deepen your connection and devotion to Hashem, knowing that he's always with you, listening to your every prayer and guiding your path. This awareness, Rabbi Nachman says, allows us to experience a profound sense of trust in God and unity with him and the whole world around us as well. The Baal Shem Tov's student, Rabbi Dov Ber, known as the Maggid of Mezrich, he taught that Ein Od Milvado is a key to understanding the purpose of creation. He explained that God created the world in order to reveal his presence and his goodness to mankind. By recognizing that there's nothing beside him, we can align ourselves with his will and personally contribute to the fulfillment of his divine plan and creation. Rabbi Menachem of Kotsk, known as the Kotsker Rebbe, he emphasized the inner dimension of Ein Od Milvado. He taught that this concept not only is about recognizing God's presence in the external world, but also about realizing that our own personal true essence is rooted in the divine. By connecting to our innermost self, which is a spark of God, we can experience a profound sense of unity with Him. And Rabbi Yehuda Leib Alter of Ger, known as the Sefat Emet, taught that Ein Od Milvado is a call to transcend our limited perception of reality. He explained that our ordinary perception often fools us and trips us up. It leads us to believe that there are separate entities and forces in the world. However, the truth is that that's all an illusion, because in reality, everything is ultimately connected to and sustained by God. And by internalizing this truth, we can expand our consciousness and experience the unity that underlies all of existence. These teachings emphasize the profound implications of the principle of Ein Od Milvado, that there's none but Him, as a tool for navigating through life's challenges, understanding the purpose of creation and using it for our own spiritual growth and for our connection with God and for our connection with each other. But open up your heart deeper than ever before. Incorporating the teaching of Ein Od Milvado into our challenging situations, it's not about denying or minimizing the difficulties we face, but rather about focusing on our connection to Hashem. By recognizing God's presence in all aspects of our lives, we can navigate our challenges with faith, trust, and a sense of unity. But of course, integrating Ein Od Milvado into everyday life is a lifelong journey. It requires consistent effort, reflection, and practice. But by working to internalize this truth and live by it, we can deepen our faith, bring holiness into our everyday experiences, and with Hashem's help, lead a more spiritually meaningful life. Thank you for watching this week's Jerusalem Lights Torah portion. Please consider supporting our efforts to ensure the continuation of our goal of sharing Torah for everyone. And may we all truly be blessed to always remember Ein Od Milvado. There is none beside Him. Shabbat Shalom.